Hey, what's up, guys? So, I'm having a conversation with my friend James here, and we're talking about stretching. And so, to give you a little background about James and stretching, James was just telling me how he's always wanted to be more flexible, but he never actually ends up staying consistent on stretching. and the reason why is because he's always worried. He's always like focused on getting the right form. Is my back straight? Is my body aligned? Is it squared? Is my hips forward? All this stuff. And it prevented him from actually doing it all the time because it's so much effort. It's so much work. It takes so much energy. And then what we realized as we started talking was that if we have this approach, there's a 3-step approach that makes it so easy, makes it effortless, and I've actually been applying it to many things that I do. And I'll share it with you today on stretching. And that's how I'm able to stretch at least 7 times a day, every day. And so this approach is like this. So the first thing is make your stretching easy. Here, make your stretching easy. That means don't worry about form. Don't worry about form. Don't worry about your posture. Don't even worry about doing it correctly. Don't worry about whether your toes may point this way, is your square hips. Leave all that stuff out the door.
What about my hair? Should I worry about my hair?
Don't worry about your hair.
Oh, okay.
Right? Let it all, just don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about how you're doing it. And just do it. Whatever feels natural for you, just do it. And making it easy. The second thing you do, after you made it so easy, made it so effortless, you're constantly doing it. The second thing you do now is make your stretching graceful, smooth, right? Don't just like drop into a stretch and just clunk and just transitions are all rough, you know? No, just make it more smoother, make it a little more graceful because you're able to make it easy now, make it more graceful. And then once you practice on making it graceful and you now also made it easy, then the last thing you do is focus on your form. Do that extra little thing to go a little deeper. If I'm doing a forward fold like this, maybe in the beginning, you know, I'm all hunched back and I'm like this, and my feet aren't even together.
Like this? I can demo. Got a nice curve in the spine.
Yeah, you got the curve in the spine, your knees are bent, right? And you're like, I'm not even doing anything, I'm just kind of hanging over. Let that be it, right? And then afterwards, you make it more graceful. In the beginning, you're just kind of clunking over, and then now you're like, okay, did we actually try to, be more smoother when I'm coming down? The third thing is then focusing on the form. So now the form maybe is like, okay, now I'm going to have my back actually straight. When I come down, I'm going to focus on pointing my toes upwards, and then when I come down, my stomach is coming down to your thighs. There's a lot of different ways to be better in the posture. The idea, though, the key takeaway here is don't judge how you're doing it and just make it easy to start. Oh, and one other thing. Repetition. Repetitiveness. The key thing to all of this is repeating the same thing over and over and over. That's it.
So is it really nice that it's easy to do and almost fun to do? Does that make it easy to repeat?
Yeah, because when we make it easy, automatically it becomes like fun because it's easy. and we want to make it easy so we can make it fun, so we can make it enjoyable. And then by doing that, automatically you start to do it more often. So when I'm stretching 7 times a day, I'm not there trying to think about my form. I'm not there. I don't care how I'm doing it. I just do it. I don't care if I got the right clothes, if I'm in the right place. I don't care if sometimes I got a shirt that looks like it's about to rip if I try to do it. And then so I can't even do certain moves, and I don't even care. I don't care. I'm not going to just not stretch, and I just do what I can. And so when we have that approach in stretching and really just in training in general, it allows us to be able to constantly repeat the things it allows us to constantly repeat it. And repetition is the key to getting better at anything. But the key is that when we don't judge how we're doing it by making it easy as the first step, it allows us to repeat. Like what James was sharing with me, he doesn't stretch a lot because it's like, got to worry so much about form. It's like, I don't got the energy to stretch right now. I'm trying to relax.
Can I share my example?
Yeah.
So this was actually, so Mike has actually been helping me with this for over a year now. I remember one of the first times it's like he got a download on what was making it, what was standing in the way of my flexibility. And I remember he was telling me, he was like, oh yeah, just lay down, Jay. Just relax, release, just lay. He was nailing exactly this conversation and what we're talking about. He was just like helping me get it. And I was still sitting there next to him going, okay, but first let me, I have to straighten my back, just reaching my arms out and up and getting the best possible posture. And then I was leaning forward, and this is the furthest I can go with a straight like the best posture in the world. And so I'm not getting a stretch. My muscles. This was the worst. My muscles are tensed.
Yep.
I'm tightening my muscles and stretching at the same time or something.
Yeah.
And so I don't even, if I do that, I don't even have the chance to even get that first step, right? To just I just and then I work, and so it takes effort and time. So I was like, when it comes time to stretch, of course I never spend any time stretching. I never stretch 7 times a day or ever. It's like, I don't want to work right now.
You got to be like totally prepared. You got to be like mentally prepared, energetically prepared to go into this stretch.
We're gonna get ready for stretching. It's like I take my pre-work stretch workout.
If you're tired, there's no way you're gonna stretch. I am too tired to go ahead and do all that work. But if you look at stretching, what is stretching other than letting gravity do its thing? And let's say you're doing this and gravity is not pulling you anymore, then that means you don't need to go anymore. See, I'm not trying to do, if I come down naturally, I just come down to here. This is what gravity is pulling me here for. You see, it can't be any more effortless than using gravity. If you're standing up, it's like, just drop down.
Right.
And then it's like, so I'm just using gravity. It's just hang. There's no effort.
Warning. I'm not going to have good form. But I'm just gonna hang.
You see, like when I'm doing this, there is no trying. So someone would go, well, Mike, it's because you're flexible. No, it's because I'm constantly stretching. So then what happens if somebody goes, well, gravity is gonna pull me to here. Let me go to the side so you can see, right? Okay, gravity pulls me to here. That's it. And it's actually like this. This is all gravity's gonna pull me to. What do I do? Okay, just do this. Do this 7 times a day. So what happens when you do this 7 times a day and you just let gravity pull you? Now suddenly, before you know it, within a week, you maybe go down 1 inch more. But it's effortless. So it's like, okay, cool. But it feels good while you're doing it. And that's why you're doing it. You're not just doing it to become more flexible. You're doing it because you're releasing tension, because it feels good.
And that's what can I talk again? Yeah. Is this your live or can I?
Yeah. Just chat and share.
is stretching. And this is changing my life right now. Like I've been getting lots of massages and learning about what it is to actually release tension. I didn't realize that I was stretching by tensing my body. I'll just say it really simply is now I understand that getting flexible is about relaxing. It's like I don't know why it's so simple. That's supposed to be simple, right? It's like I don't know. Let the form come later. Like I've completely forgotten about form. I'll let like you've said, that'll come later. Like just stretch a lot, hang out,
Yeah.
and that's. I mean, I'm excited it'll come later, but at this point I don't care. I'm just getting good at relaxing and like and finally releasing my muscles so that they get longer. I can't possibly, and I understand it now, I can't possibly help my muscles stretch and relax if I'm tightening them. It's opposite.
We're fighting against it.
It's like this is why it's like it's changing my entire life because this says so much about me. And I don't have to go into that, but it just the idea of adding tension in order to relax. It's like am I the only one? Does anybody else like
most people in the world don't know this that we're talking about. You know, I spend most of my life stretching and not understanding that concept. And so I had to put in so much effort. Every time I stretch, it's like so painful. And in my mind, I just think about getting from point A to point B, and that's it. And if I can't get to point B, then I'm not doing a good job. If I get to point B, then I'm going to make point B farther. And there's just this mentality, and I've carried that mentality with me throughout everything until I finally started to learn, okay, what am I creating? Like, was I becoming flexible? Yes. But the approach was forcing. And I started to look at my life and I realized that I was forcing in all the other aspects of my life as well. I was forcing when I'm strength training, I'm forcing when I'm stretching, I'm forcing in my business, I'm forcing in my relationship, I'm forcing in everything.
Wow.
And there's this theme of it, you know, nothing was effortless. And you know how you hear about people talk about this effortless way of being, this effortless way of living, everything's so effortless. And you're thinking, yeah, I wish I was that lucky. I wish things just fall into my lap the way it falls into yours. I wish people just openly help out and give me this and that. But, you know, I just don't have that luck. So I just got to go ahead and make it happen. Iron fist type of method, you know, approach. Until I realized, no, there's no luck. You know, it's the way that we approach things. It's what we're doing. It's our mentality. And without diving into all those other subjects, when it comes to stretching, relax into your stretch. Exhale and just relax and just let your body fall where it does. And
can I share something?
Yeah.
So this is the thing that has always astonished me, is that like these messages coming from you, and especially it's so interesting. I'm reading up on what people are saying, and there are some like, and I can see there are some OG six-pack shortcuts. Friends of yours from so like, hey, what was the line? Yo, this is Mike with six-pack shortcuts. I love seeing that. So you are so powerful that you can, and I'm betting, I haven't asked you this, but I'm betting that you became this flexible even through the level of tension that we're talking about, that you act like you are so powerful that you can actually do that and succeed. And it shows in the way that you built the business, like we're talking about this and like and all this stuff. So it's funny to hear you say this because you are an example of somebody, and everybody knows you as this, somebody who can succeed through great difficulty and through all of that. And then I love that we're sitting here right now and we're hanging out and your message is just relax into it and like and let it come. It's so cool that like with everything that you've gone through and the work that you've been doing, that's the message now.
Well, the thing is, if we don't relax into it, if we don't stop trying so hard and start to kick back and take it easy, even if we were to accomplish what we accomplish, we get no joy from it. There's no joy from it. There's no fulfillment from it. Everyone we're in our mind, we're trying to control everything. There's no joy in what we accomplish. And I know it's could be, a little difficult for people to kind of hear that, because then they're thinking like, well, what else can I do? I don't know another way. And I totally get it, because I didn't know another way. But I'm here to go ahead and share the other way and do my best just to share my experience, share what I learned, so maybe it can help other people to approach it in a different way. Because then when you approach it in a more effortless way, in a more flow way, in a way that is surrender, you not giving up, not taking action, not sitting on your butt being a bum. No, like surrender into this natural flow of how your energy is going into things. Surrender into what is happening and become present and take action when you need to take action. And when you don't, you surrender and you just take a break. And like not getting out of this whole hurry mentality. I don't want to dive into all of it right now, but there's a lot to go in it. And I dive into it in other videos. But the idea is that when we can learn how to stop creating resistance with everything in our life, within ourselves, within other people, when we stop the resistance, everything we do becomes easier. The stretching, the working out, just life in general, relationships with other people, friends, life becomes easier. We stop trying to force everything and we let things come to us. And when it doesn't come to us, it doesn't matter. We don't need it. We stop trying to manipulate everything around us. And that's I gotta say, it's easier than it sounds, but what it takes, this is why most people don't do it, because there is one hurdle. There's one hurdle that you gotta face. And this one hurdle you gotta face is yourself. The yourself that you don't want to look at. The guilt that we carry inside. The shame that we carry inside. The grief. The people that we're angry about that we don't want to forgive. We got to face all of those things. Those things, the fear and the what if stories, those are the things we face. That's the hurdle. And when we learn how to be able to face those and overcome those, this that I'm talking about is easy, but that's the hurdle. And that's why most people would rather go ahead and force things and do everything the hard way than to go ahead and face stuff that's on the inside. And that's why I talk so much about it, because I got to a place to where it's like, man, it's judgment day and it's time. It's time to go ahead and open that can, go into the closet and see what's really there. And I went in and there was so much, despite what anybody else can see on the outside.
Because you chose the hard way and you forced and you succeeded. I mean, how many people actually succeed through that level of difficulty and challenge and force and can rise to the top in something and can be like a shining example of it? I mean, I can't imagine like the amount that it took to uncover. I mean, like to move so far and powerfully in a certain direction. Sorry to cut you off, but it's just amazing to me the amount that it would take to go and explore in what seems to me like an opposite direction. And like it takes that same level of power, adventurousness, and ability to be able to explore in the other direction, to do that healing, to do that relaxing, that releasing, to come, I don't know, to even be able to have this conversation and be an example of this conversation right now.
So I want to add that. So James, he's having to work with this every day. Him and his partner. So you guys can check out the YouTube channel, Meilon Moritz, and Meilon is his partner and his soon to be wife. Oh,
Did I say that? That's too early?
Rumor mill.
Rumor mill?
Rumor
Okay,
mill from the source, though.
Delete, pause.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
sorry.
I
Okay,
like
anyways,
it, yeah.
partner. But so, you know, they're building a very, you know, they're working their butt off. You know, they're supporting a lot of people. They're bringing a lot of content into the world. They're doing a lot of good. They're in the midst of it, you know, and this is something that's, you know, that they're having to experience. You know, no matter how people want more stuff, it's like they can get easily into, you know, just cranking it out and forcing it. And you know, we all learn what happens when that happens. And so it's amazing to see the journey, to see how you guys been building this, you know, building this company, building all the support, all of these albums. I mean, I've never seen people. I never knew how the whole music industry worked and how you create a song and then engineer it and then turning it eventually into this album, and being with James and May and just being a witness of the process. I mean, oh my God, it's a lot of work, but it's super cool. It's really, really cool. But it's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a, you know, a lot of respect to that. It takes so much patience and just the amount of energy that goes into it. When someone goes, hey, you know, I released a track, here you go. It's like, before I didn't have the same appreciation because I had no idea what goes behind it. And, but seeing you guys, how you can make it effortless, you can have fun and you can laugh about all this stuff, you know, because you can surrender to it. And then there's days I remember to where you guys like, okay, I'm just going to make it happen. And then you do make it happen. And then it's just like, you need to take like a week break, you know?
Yeah.
And so
I'm in the middle of, I think, the second week of my week break. Here's the third
you know.
week.
So anyways, guys.
Thank you so much. That means so much coming from you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys can check out the channel. It's really awesome. You can see all the work behind it. You know, James is in some of the videos, but mostly would be his lovely partner May. Hey Marcello, what's up, man? Spoiler, seeing him now. Peace and love. Yes.
Can I share?
Yeah.
Yo, so JS. So okay. So this is how this all started. I'm gonna use a yoga mat because I'll get that flexible soon. I'll relax into it. But this live started, and I definitely want to bring this back in, is because we were just stretching and having some fun, and we were just relaxing and all like that. We were talking about how my whole mentality has changed about stretching and all of this, and we just wanted to share some of this mentality. I mean, so what we talked about at the very beginning. I've just been relaxing, kind of stretching with you. And there were a couple times, not only while you were just talking, but also like 5-10 minutes before that, when I just kind of reached out a little bit more and bent over. And it was like just by hanging out and just chatting with you like this, that was it was like several inches further that I was going. And then when you were just talking, I just did it again. And I
don't think I've ever seen you go that far.
Yeah, I'm just like stretching, relaxing down. So the whole secret to what we're talking about right now is I am not thinking about form or anything at all except for just like laying down, letting gravity do the work, just hanging out with my bud, and just talking about stretching and what it is to release and relax and all.
Stretch talks.
This is Stretch Talks.
Stretch talks.
Stretch Talks.
Next time you're hanging out with a friend, with anybody, or if you're on a phone, you know, put it on speaker, and then just stretch and hang out. You know, it's like, what else are you gonna do? You're either gonna be standing, sitting, or laying down, or you just be stretching.
I mean, or I don't actually know how many people are watching right now, but feel free to grab a yoga mat, or if there's a floor next to you, by any chance, feel free to just lay down and start rolling around and bend over and hang out.
Yeah,
And we can
just drop down. I mean,
we can chat here. I'll even, you know what? We can use yoga mats. What are you talking about?
a
There's
yoga
just
mat.
a floor in here. We'll just hang out.
Yeah, I'll just do that then. You know, I was gonna end the live, but then, you know, I'll just keep it going a little longer. You know, we can.
Ash just said how to have endurance for the whole day. It kind of sounds like it's built into what we're doing here.
That's a good question. So maybe I'll just, I don't know how long the live is. I'm just kind of going with the flow here. So here's how you have endurance the whole day. First thing, you plug up the leak that your energy is going out of. Everybody's got energy leaks. And so before we try to add more into the bucket, let's just go ahead and stop the leaks. Because once we stop the leaks, we can actually accumulate more energy. It's actually easier to stop leaks than it is to try to create more energy. So what are energy leaks? So one energy leak is tension, tightness. It blocks the flow of energy. So it decreases the amount of energy we can have in the body because there's all these blockages. So that's the reason why I stretch so often. Because I'll sit there on the table, and after sitting down for 30, 40 minutes, an hour, I get up, I feel some tension in my back. I feel my hamstrings being tight. So then I will spend, maybe about a minute, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. I never count. And I would just do a quick stretch. And then afterwards, like right there, I just get up and I just go into the stretch right away. And then after that, I leave the room and then just go about my day. And so I release the tension every time I feel it accumulate. And again, they're really, really quick. Sometimes they're as short as just doing one movement, and then that's it. But when we release that tension, now it gives us more energy. And when we have more energy, we have more endurance to go and do things. Here's another one. This one is even bigger. It'll create massively more energy. Being present. Do you know how much energy it takes when you're thinking? Imagine that. How much energy does it take to think? You guys ever do you ever think? Imagine sitting there. When a lot of us, when we're working, you're sitting there, you're not getting tired from doing physical work, unless you guys are actually doing physical work. But there's a lot of people that aren't doing any physical work. There's no physical work in tapping these fingers and moving this little mouse here and da, 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 da. So where's the energy coming out of? The energy drain is coming out of thinking. And so now imagine if you can put it away for a sec, or let's say you get up. Let's say you get up and you walk to get a drink of water. And you decide to go ahead and stop the thinking so you can recoup your energy. The amount of energy that you can now recoup, it's like taking a nap. It's like your quick reset. But if you don't have the capacity to stop that chattering mind, then all this energy is constantly being drained out at every moment. Right now, when you're watching this video, let's go ahead and let's just take 20 seconds right now. And we're not going to say a single word. I'm going to just count in my mind 20 seconds and see if you're able to stop the thoughts or if you're aware of the thoughts in your mind. Let's try it right now. Ready? I'm closing my eyes.
So don't you count for 20 seconds. Let Mike do it.
Yeah, I'll do the count. We'll just stop everything with 20 seconds, okay? Just try this out. Just see. How many thoughts are coming in? How many words are coming in? Can you just remain just silence for 20 seconds? That's it. Okay, let's try it out. Okay. How did you guys do? Share in the comments. Let me know. How was that?
Yo,
that was 20
I did
seconds.
so well. And what was so funny is when I just did that, I lowered 2 or 3 inches just hanging over and just, what was it? Presence? Just being really present or being.
So that's a good one. So what happens is when you are present and you're not thinking, you stop creating unconscious emotions in the body. And when you stop creating unconscious emotions in the body's natural state is peace. It's inner peace. It's calmness. It's relaxation. That's the natural state. When we get into unnatural states, we want to fight and flight and all this stuff, but this natural state is calmness. And so when we don't think, like what James says, like you're present, and what happens? Suddenly we relax. And when we relax, we suddenly go farther in our stretch. So let me see in the comments. How many? 3, 4 words.
That's all.
That's all true. I dream my inner thinking. Yes.
Marcello giving some love.
Yeah. Marcello wrote, I love that the most with Mike. Those live coaching always flow from one topic to the next smoothly.
How can we stop thinking?
All right, so Farhan asked, how can we stop thinking? Let's try this right now. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to breathe 20 times. Okay. Make it real easy. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to breathe in deeply through your nose, and then you can breathe out through your mouth or through your nose. And if your nose is stuffed, then just breathe deeply through your mouth. 20 deep breaths. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and close your eyes. Just try this. What I want you to do, as you're breathing, notice how silent your mind is versus just that last 20 seconds. Okay. Let's try it right now. All right. Ready? I'm going to breathe with you 20 times. Let's begin. Let's try it right now. Close your eyes. Okay. Try to go in and out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's begin. Last one, take a deep breath in. Now go ahead, exhale all of your air. Keep exhaling until there's no air left. Now just hold your breath. And I'm going to count 10 seconds. Hold your breath, no air in your body. If you can go a little longer, let's do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly go ahead, inhale. Okay, just open your eyes. So how was that compared to when you had your eyes closed earlier and you're trying to clear your thoughts? Did you notice a difference when you were breathing? You see, when we breathe, it connects us to our body. And then we take the attention away from our mind. You see, when our attention's in our mind, we're thinking. We're paying attention to thoughts. When we take our attention to our breath, we become present. Why? Where's our thoughts? When we think, we can't be present and thinking. It doesn't happen. Anytime when you're present, you're not thinking. Anytime when you're thinking, you're not present.
But where are we then if we're not here? If we're thinking, that means our consciousness is in the past or it's in the future. We're thinking about the past, something that happened before, or we're thinking about something we want to do in the future. But at no point is it actually here in the present. And so when we pay attention to the breath, automatically we are present because the breath is present. And automatically when we pay attention to the breath and we're present, now we're here in the body. And when we are present, we don't think because our attention is here. And so the idea, I know the next questions will be, how can I go ahead and be present and work and plan and think and talk and do all this stuff? How can I juggle both? It's like, I'm present one moment and then I'm not present moment when I'm doing this stuff. How does it work? That's the most common question. So here's how that works. We spend most of our life, we spend the time that we absolutely need to in our mind, thinking, planning, analyzing, comparing, doing all this stuff. And then when we don't need to do that, we stay present. So what happens is that we spend more of our life being present in small pockets of our life every day in the past and future in our mind. This is called using the tool. Our mind is this tool that we get to use. But when we swap it and the opposite is happening, we are in our mind throughout most of the day, and we spend tiny little glimpses in pockets of our day present. This tool that is creating all these things are now running our life, and we are responding constantly to what's in our head. We are living our life through in our head, then actually living life right now. So we don't actually experience what's happening now. We are experiencing our entire life through comparing it to the past or trying to do things in the means of a future. But we can't actually experience what's happening now. So when that happens, I want to tie it back to the topic of this video on stretching. When that happens, when we are thinking of the past or thinking of the future, one of two things are going to happen. We are either going to think about a happy thought that makes us feel good in our body, or we're going to think about a unhappy scenario, a worrisome scenario, something that we don't know, we're trying to figure out. But we can't figure it out because it's in the future. We have to do a lot of research and planning and controlling everything. We're trying to go and think about a past that already happened. We can't go back and change anything. So now we get regret and we get guilt. So now I want you to ask yourself this question. How do you feel when you think about the thoughts that you have? What is the feeling that you get with the thoughts that you have? If a person was to sit down and they were to go ahead and actually think, and they were actually going to feel into the thoughts that they have in their mind, and they were going to put it into two simple categories. Feel good, don't feel good. That's it. You don't need to make it any more complicated than that. What would be the answer? What would the majority of their thoughts fall under? So the people that are dealing with a lot of issues in their life, the answer to this question that they're going to find is that most of their thoughts fall under this umbrella of not feeling good. And they're going to have little pockets of times where they feel good, and then they're going to be falling under not feeling good. And then you talk to these super positive, go-lucky, cheerful people, and you ask them, how are they going to do in this simple question? And what's going to happen? They're going to have more feel-good thoughts in general, but they're still going to have not feel-good thoughts. Why? Because when we think about this idea, a person would go, I'm just going to have all positive thoughts. And then there we go. Life is fixed. I'm going to always feel good. That's it. Everybody wants one main thing in life. We can give it different names, but the idea is the same. And that idea and that thing is happiness. We can call it love. We can call it peace. A sense of ease, sense of freedom. It's all just similar words just trying to describe a certain feeling that we want to experience. We all want the same thing. That feeling that every single human on this planet, no matter if they know it or not, that feeling can only come from one state of being. Okay? One state, not two or three. And that one state is presence, not any other. You can have a whole bunch of other emotions, but there's only one state that we're going to experience true peace, true freedom. And that's when we are present and when our attention and our consciousness is not being taken by the thoughts in our head.
I'm loving this because I'm getting the best side stretch ever in my life. For anybody that's new, we've just been stretching and hanging out, and it's not about form. This is what I'm just such a perfect example of. Because Mike, of course, you can lay down full splits and all of that, but I'm such a great buddy for this video because I'm just sitting here and I got a lot of tension to release, but the whole concept of this has been relaxing, not thinking about form. Like I'm doing a side stretch, but I'm not using my arm because when I do that, I'm not flexible enough to even relax when I do this. And so I'm adding tension to my body. I'm not getting a real stretch. But while you've been sharing about this, and it's been fun to totally release from my own thoughts, that's what was so great, is I felt so released from my own thoughts. I've just got you just chatting and I'm relaxing and chilling. I just doing a nice stretch and chill. And I'm easily getting the best side stretch in my life. And the big secret for me was letting go of form. And something that really just helped me was just even just listening to you. Sure, I don't even know how to sum it all up right now, but just listening to you share what you just did.
And
it was powerful.
in a lot of times when we're feeling into things, we don't even have the right words. We don't need to. Sometimes there's nothing needed to be said. You ever have you ever hang out with somebody and there's not much, you're just kind of just chilling with them and just being in their presence. And you may say just a few things here and there. But the feeling that you get in their presence versus spending time with somebody and you're kind of forcing a conversation. I think everybody's kind of experienced that. When we learn to feel, we connect to ourselves, and then when we connect to ourselves, we get to connect to other people. So, hey guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining in. Hope you guys liked hanging out with James and I.
Hey.
It was James' idea to, hey, let's go ahead and just jump on a live. Well, actually, he said, let's go do some stretching, and I thought he meant let's do a live. I go, sure, man. So then I just grabbed the laptop, turned it on, pressed play.
That's great. So we're going live, right? I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that I wasn't only thoughtless this whole time. Something that crossed my mind is, so I've watched so many videos of you with like Terry Crews and like real leaders of the world in whatever it is that you're working on, whether fitness or mentality or other things. And I was just thinking how funny it is and how what is it? What an oxymoron, or how a different thing that I'm here with you, giving such a great example of like the best way that I can help in this video is that I've got so much relaxing to do. It's so much flexibility to gain. But that was it's interesting. It's I'm really proud of myself because it's intimidating to jump on the camera with you and have so much work to do on my flexibility, but also to be able to just relax and breathe and everything.
And just be okay with it. That in itself is like, yeah, because then you have to let go of self-judgment and what if this and that, and a lot of stuff that, that people can deal with. Just let it go.
Dude, I thank you for talking and thanks for holding the space because I feel super relaxed and I'm seriously deeper in stretches than I've ever been before in my life. Man.
Oh.
Stretch talk.
Stretch talk. All right, guys. So, hey, thanks for everybody's comments and joining in, watching. If you like this, share more comments, let us know, and then we'll do more stretch talk videos. Who knows? All right. See you guys.